What is happening, Toka Peeps? OldManTup coming at you today with our Season 2 Week 2 matchup versus Gamer Willie and the Washington Weavile in the UAPB, United Association of Peanut Butter Battlers. And this week, put up the team builder earlier, so if you haven't had a chance to go check that out, do so if you'd like some clarification on some of the sets I brought. But I shared my thoughts as to what I thought he would be bringing, and some of the things we don't see that really surprise us are namely no Ferrothorn and no Alakazam. I really thought Alakazam was coming. I thought that would be for sure one of his mons, but he didn't bring it. So let's just do a quick rundown of what his team possibilities were. Landorus, Therian, Ferrothorn, Chandelure, Hitmonlee, Umbreon, Mega Altaria, Armaldo, Quillfish, Alakazam, Raichu, and Kecleon. So we see the team he's got. Zebstrika is a fairly quality lead against the majority of his team. We could come in, make some big damage on something, spread some status around early, or just bop something right away. So that is what we are going to lead with. He's going to lead with the Armaldo, and I'm like, okay, perfect. He's leading with Armaldo. We could paralyze this thing. I don't think he's going to stay in this turn. I think he's probably going to predict the electric attack and go into Raichu, but I don't want to get too cheeky early. And I don't want him setting up a Rock Polish and double dancing with this thing turn one, because it could put a tear through my team as well. Not that I think he would do that, but got to make sure that doesn't happen. So we are just going to drop a T-Wave turn one. And he is just going to switch out and go into Raichu. He is the Lightning Rod ability, and he's going to get that +1 in special attack. We know we can take anything he wants to throw at us. We have the motor drive, so he can't hit us with a stab attack. But he's going to go with the hidden power. We find out later that that hidden power was ice, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to take care of the elements that he thought we would be bringing. So we just go for an overheat because I want to get damage on this thing, because if I get rocks up, he's going to have limited switches in at this point. Overheat does a ton of damage. Like I said, I knew he'd be able to take one hit regardless. I didn't want him to volt switch out being cheeky, thinking he'd be able to get us on the switch, because we don't have a ground type this turn. He does just go for the hidden power. Overheat does a ton of damage. We have the Life Orb set. We're just going to switch out into Meme Magic, because I know we'll be able to take that, especially the hidden power, and we can take those for days. He's just going to switch out here, which is going to give us the opportunity to set up the Stealth Rocks. He possibly could have predicting a Toxic and or just a U-turn. This is his sponge to soak up all that damage. We do set up the rocks. We are going to just U-turn out here. That does a fairly respectable amount of damage for not having a ton of investment in this thing for that. So was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, that that U-turn did as much damage as it did, which makes me think he's probably a little more special defensive. But we're just going to U-turn now. We're going to bring in Venomoth. Good prediction there. I figured he'd probably set up a Toxic, maybe just a Wish, but regardless, bringing this thing in is going to scare him out. He can't stay in and take a Bug Buzz, and he isn't going to want us to set up, and nothing really wants to come in and take a Buzz outside of Chandelure. And that isn't going to want to be switching in too many times, because we now have rocks set up. Armaldo being his way to get rid of the rocks, which I assume he's going to try and bring in and take care of. He's going to bring in Armaldo here. It's going to take 25%, and that Bug Buzz did 44%. Fantastic 44% damage, and that's just excellent. Meaning another one is going to be able to take him out for sure. And again, nothing is going to want to switch in and just take a Bug Buzz. And if I can get this thing taken down right now, rocks are on the field to stay. So we are just going to stay in a Bug Buzz, and rocks are good. He's going to bring in Landorus, Therian. Our switch into this every day of the week is Melodic. and we'll see what he's going to do. Rock, Stone Edge coming in. That is more or less what we thought. That did 40%. Now, granted, that's not a stab attack, but it's 100 base power attack, and we see that coming in. We are going to get the defense boost from the Marvel scale because our burn or our flame orb is going to activate the burn this turn, and I'm going to stay in to see what he's going to do. Scalding anything on his team and possibly snagging a burn right now would just be fantastic. It's going to give us residual damage on the Umbreon if that's what he wants to switch in. Or, as I mentioned, we could just find out what this thing is. If it's Scarf, it is not going to stay in and give us another Stone Edge because we'll just take those for days and we can just recover off the damage. He is going to reveal right now that he is the Ground DMZ Tectonic Rage attacker, and that is going to be more than enough to take us out, and Melodic is going to go down. But having that information allows us to bring in Zebstrika every single time because we outpace everything on his team that is not named Raichu right now. Now that Chandelure we have in the back of our mind as possibly being the Scarf set, and based on the team he has brought, I'm pretty much thinking that that is what it is going to have to be. So, we can HP Ice for days. He's just going to switch right back out to Umbreon, just confirming in my mind that this is his special wall. We're going to switch out. We're going to back out into Venomoth. He is just going to set up the Wish here. He's going to switch out and go into his Raichu, and we are able to set up the Quiver Dance here. I thought possibly he would just be going for a Protect. All we've seen so far to this point is the Toxic and the Wish. I don't believe we've seen him pull out the Protect yet. But, yeah. That was why we just set up the Quiver Dance that turn. If he has an attacking move, I'm going to guess it could be Payback. I'm not 100% certain. So we're just going to go for the Sludge Bomb here. That's not going to be enough to take him out. He is going to land the Thunderbolt, and that is going to do just over 50%. We are at +1 because of the fact that we set up the Quiver Dance, boosting our special defense, which is just excellent. We do have the Black Sludge, which is slowly going to heal us back up as we go. And we are able to take out the Raichu, which means that Kartana now outspeeds everything that we've seen so far. And depending on whether or not his Chandelure is Scarfed, everything on his team is outsped by this. So we're in a very, very, very good position right now. He's going to bring out the Chandelure, and at this range, I'm not confident that we can take him out in one hit. And any day of the week, a Flamethrower or Fire Blast from this range, regardless, is going to take us out all the time. But we do have the ability to switch in with Meme Magic and take a hit and see what he wants to do. So he's going to go for the Flamethrower here. It does just a little bit over a third, but we can take those and not be too terribly worried, and we can switch in a few more times to that. But what we're allowing ourselves to do is have him switch in and slowly whittle down his Mons, which is just excellent. So predicting he's going to switch out here, we're just going to go for the knockoff even if he doesn't, because if he stays in Shadow Balls us, we can take one from this range. I believe we take less than 50% from the Shadow Ball, if I remember the calc correctly. But yeah, we can take 2 Shadow Balls if rocks aren't up. So that's excellent. The fact that he switched out here and didn't go for the Shadow Ball or something else really makes me think that he is Scarfed. Just the way the team's set up, like I said before, and the way he's playing it, I'm going to guess that Chandelure's Scarfed. So that gives us the ability to knock off whatever he wants to send in. I don't think he's going to bring in Landorus on that play because he doesn't really have a lot to do to us. I don't think he's going to bring in Altaria and let it start getting whittled down. Umbreon was pretty much the play. He can just start setting up wishes again. So we are just going to knock off here because we want to get rid of that leftover so he's not getting back health at the end of the turn. We're going to U-turn right here. It's going to give us a free switch into whatever we want. Like I said, we don't believe he has anything really offensive outside of the Toxic. So we're going to go into BSZ just to see what he does, and here he busts out the Protect, which we weren't sure he had at this point. But it does show that he has it. So we've seen Toxic, Protect, Wish, and possibly one other move. Not sure. Could have been Foul Play. Could have been something else. Again, I'm not 100% certain. But he's going to take the Thunderbolt here. And we just want to gauge how much damage we can get with the Thunderbolt. It does less than 25%. So we are playing a losing battle, and BSC is slowly losing health. And I don't want it to go down at this point. Want to save it for fodder should we need it. He's going to set up the Wish. We are just going to switch right out into the Meme Magic. He sees that coming a mile away, or he just wants to get some chip in to get our Zebstrika down a little bit faster. But we go into Meme Magic here, and I'm just going to be knocking off and or U-turning, so I'm not exclusively worried about that. However, it does remove the ability for it to shrug off some of the attacks from the other Pokemon a little bit better because we aren't getting any recovery. But Dems de Ropes, he's going to switch out here, and we are just going to U-turn. And having U-turn on Meme Magic this match was just fantastic. Allowed us to keep one step ahead of whatever he was switching in or out of, and it just led us to set ourselves up very, very well. So he has Landorus, and I can't stop HP icing because I need to get damage on that thing at this point. It is slowly getting whittled down as it is being switched into rocks, but if he were to try and get cheeky or make a play to get himself into this match and snag the momentum, going for a T-Bolt on the predicted switch just wasn't worth the risk at this point. So we are going to continue to HP Ice, doing virtually nothing to Midnight Rider. Now we're going to hard switch out this turn because I'm 100% certain he is going to set up the Wish, because he's going to want to pass into whatever he can, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Now, I know he's not going to stay in because he cannot take a Sacred Sword. And at this point, he hasn't shown any ability to really scare me with any of his attacks. Now, granted, he could have the Foul Play, which would lay a beating on us because our attack stat is so monstrous, which I emphasized in the team builder. But we're going to take the initiative this turn and go for the Night Slash, predicting the Chandelure to come in with him expecting a Sacred Sword. And if that prediction is right, that puts us in a position for us to just run through the rest of his team. So that is exactly what we're going to do. He is going to switch out. He's going to go into his Chandelure. Night Slash is going to take it out every day of the week. And we're at +1. Now he brings in Altaria right here. And even if we don't have the +1, with him being down to 76% health, no matter what variant of a Mega Altaria he is, he will not survive a Smart Strike at this range, even at minimal damage, because minimal damage, as I outlined in the team builder, is 79.9% if I remember the calcs correctly, but it's more than enough to one-shot it at this range. And that's if we weren't at +1. So we're at +1. We're pretty much walking through the rest of his team. I really expected at this point for Landers to come out and maybe try and take a Leaf Blade. But he brought Alteri out, which is perfectly fine. He's going to Mega Evolve as he has to. Smart Strike is going to take this thing down. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Next, please. So we are now at +2. Umbreon is going to come out, and he cannot take a Sacred Sword. So Umbreon is going to go down, racking up another kill. And out comes the Landorus. He's going to take a Leaf Blade to the face. And that gives Kartana four kills? Yeah. Because Venomoth got 2 kills with the Raichu and the Armaldo. We got the Chandelure on the switch in. We got Alteri after that, Umbreon, and then Landorus with the Kartana. So Kartana coming in late game and just walking through the rest of his team. Fairly clean matchup. Nothing crazy happened. No bizarrely missed moves. No super crits that did much damage that really affected the game. So it was a clean match. Fairly short match. And we win. So we are on a 2-game win streak. We are undefeated on the season. And we are at a +10 differential. That's 2 weeks in a row. We 5-0 our opponents. Both were division matchups, so that's excellent. Not only are we 2-0, but we are 2-0 in our division. Let's look at our next team, and we will be playing the Amherst Excelgors. And if I'm not mistaken, they are also, yes, they're the last team in our division. So after next week, we will have played every team in our division, and I will not spoil any results from those matchups. I'll let you go to the respective coaches and check them out. But this has been OldManTup. Really happy with the performance of the team thus far this season. We're sitting at 2-0. As I said, +10 differential. And want to give a big shout out to Trogdor and Bill Standish, who are the boys putting in the work, helping me build sets and teams this season. And I appreciate them greatly because they put in a lot of time and effort and work with me to tailor these teams. And it's just showing that we are slowly building towards a successful season. So thank everybody for watching. Be sure and go check out the New York, or no, that was last week, the Washington Weaviles and Gamer Willie. Channel link will be in the description down below. But anyways, guys, this has been OldManTup, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.